Good evening, guys. Welcome to another Friday Waffle. If you're on my Main Meister Facebook page, you might have seen I put a message up earlier on today at lunchtime saying that the Friday Waffle was going to be tomorrow. And the reason being was because myself and Ava, my daughter, were going to be going to the pictures. But she was getting a blood sample taken today, and she didn't feel too well after it. So it's the pictures has been cancelled, so that's why this is coming. Well, I was going to say live. This is getting recorded on Friday evening. So yeah, I hope you've all had an alright week. My week's been okay, I suppose. Work's been just hectic. It really has, and you know, absolutely mental busy. But like I said, it does make for a very, very quick week, which is good and bad, because it's bad because it just means you get older quicker. But anyway, enough about my my grumblings. What have I been doing myself this week? Gaming wise, what have I been playing? Yeah, you know what I've been playing? I've got no idea why I've started playing it. I don't even know. Maybe subconsciously I know why. I've been playing, what do you call it, Super Metroid on the SNES. Now, interestingly, when I started it, I mean, I'm playing it on the proper SNES. I've got an EverDrive cartridge. Now, I know there's meant to be dangers with the EverDrives. It's supposed to fry your machine, whatever. But I've been using it for 2 years without any issues. So yeah, I started playing Super Metroid, the PAL version. And what was interesting was it came up with the option for either German or French subtitles. So I'm like, well, it's in English, I don't want any subtitles, but you don't have any choice to turn them off. So you've got to pick, so you get the English text, then you get the subtitles at the bottom. So I did a wee Google, and it turns out it's only in the PAL version. If you get the Japanese or the American one, NTSC version, you get to pick whether it's Japanese or US, and you don't get the subtitles, you just get the text in actual English or Japanese. So yeah, I've been playing the Japanese one, a bleak American one. I've played it for maybe, I don't know, maybe a couple of hours. Well, I wouldn't say I'm getting far into it at all. I've managed to get the missile thing that you get, and I can now change into a little ball thing which you use to kind of break through walls. So yeah, really enjoying that. I've not really used my SNES for quite a long time. I think the reason I started playing it was I'm one of the lucky ones to have managed to snag one of the excuse me, the mini SNESes, which comes out, I think it's the end of this month. Is it the 29th of September? I mean, there's already nutcases selling it on eBay for stupid money, and the disappointing thing is there will be people who will pay it, you know what I mean. I did actually try to get a second one recently, but you know, they're totally out of stock. And the honest answer is, or the reason being, I was going to try and get one and then offer it to somebody, one of my friends, one of you guys on YouTube, for face value. I would never ever dream of buying something like that purely to profiteer. I know lots of people do it. I wouldn't do it. I don't agree with it. It's not illegal, but it's not right. Morally, I don't think it's right, because when something's in kind of such short supply and huge demand, then with you doing that, you're just basically denying somebody else that wants it, and you're forcing them to pay a lot more money for it. So I think because I was reading, I can't remember what it was, I must have saw an article about the mini SNES, and unconsciously I must have saw the list of games, which was why I decided to play that. So yeah, that's been my gaming week. I've not been playing the PS4. I don't think I've even switched it on this week. That's really been it. Yeah, so what have I got to talk about? It's not, I've got bollocks, you know, I didn't even start it. I've got a timer. I've got 39 minutes and 18 seconds before I need to cut this video off. Firstly, the live stream. Now, Alan Brown, GTB Films, one of my mates, he was asking in last week's Waffle about would I consider doing a live stream, and I said I would, and then it was later on that night or the following day I thought there's no time like the present, so obviously I stuck a video out saying I was going to be doing a live stream on, was it Sunday I think it was I did it, and yeah, it turned out to be a huge hoot. It was really, really good fun. I don't mind admitting, I was actually getting a wee bit nervous, see, before I went live. It's odd, I mean, I'm sitting here talking to you at the moment, but the difference is I'm only talking to camera, I'm not talking to anybody live. This is basically pre-recorded. And the difference between that and actually knowing that you're out there live, everything you say, people can hear you, does make a bit of difference. So I suppose the closest thing to compare it with would be like being on the radio. You know that people can hear you. But after about a minute, I settled down, and it was really, really good fun. I mean, I must admit, I decided to make it no more than an hour. I mean, I was going out later on, so I had to kind of make it an hour maximum. But I could have quite easily continued, and I think quite a few people enjoyed it. I mean, I think the maximum I had people-wise was 20, which doesn't seem very much. But to have 20 people basically give up their Sunday afternoon to tune in and listen to me talking shite was it was quite a proud moment, I don't mind saying. So yeah, the feedback seemed to be that people enjoyed it, and the one thing that I was really, really surprised about was just how easy it was to actually record it. Excuse me, I've got a dog wanting in. Right, in! There's only one of them. Right, go and lie down over there. It was really, really simple to use. I mean, Acidonia and my big mate Chris Heaney, the pair of these guys, they gave me advice. They told me to use this OBS software, which is it Open Broadcasting Software, I think it stands for. Completely free, and it's a piece of piss to use. Seriously easy to use. So yeah, I mean, it was literally start that and then start the live stream. So it went really, really well. I've watched it back. The sound was pretty good. Yeah, and the actual video itself was pretty good. The only one thing I did notice, I had scan lines switched on when I was recording MAME, and it looked shit. So I've now turned them off, so when I do another one, I won't have these things switched on. But yeah, it went down really well, and I'll definitely be doing another one. I mean, what I might try and do, I don't want to bore people with putting out these all the time. So you're never going to see, a weekly one from me. I think maybe go for one a month. I think that's more than plenty. Probably try and go for the same time. It'd probably be a Sunday afternoon, something like that. But again, let me know what you think, guys. It was great fun. It was great interacting with people, and it was good fun getting to play games that I've never seen before. So that was a big, big success. Excuse my little second. And I just digest what else I've got here. So yeah, that was good fun. So anyway, thanks to everybody that gave up their time on Sunday to listen to me talk nonsense. As I said last week, if it wasn't for you guys doing it, tuning in, then it would have been a complete damp squib, and it would have been the shortest live stream ever. So guys, thanks for joining in, and I will let you know when I'm doing the next one, and it would be great to see you all again. So yeah, first thing, sniping on eBay. Now, if you don't know what sniping is, as you know, with eBay, that's what do you call it? You can have buy it nows, where you can just basically buy something that's a fixed price, or more commonly, you get auctions. Now, I've been trying to buy a few bits and pieces, and I mean, what people say, and it's true, at the end of the day, what to do is have a look at what you want to buy, decide what the maximum amount you want to pay for it, and then put a bid in for that amount. And if it goes for more, then you've not lost anything, because basically it's gone for more than you're willing to pay. But the frustrating thing when you put a bid in, I mean, I was buying, I'll not tell you what I was buying because I want to let you see it shortly. I was trying to buy this thing, and I put a price in. I think I was like £5, and I was sitting at £5 for about 5 days, and then I got the email later on to say I'd lost the auction, and it was literally, there was just a flurry of bids getting put in at the last minute. So I was the winning bidder for like 4 or 5 days, and then boom, 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 I'd lost it. So I think it's almost daft to kind of put a bid in right away, because you're letting people see that you're interested in it. You're letting people see this guy's wanting to buy it. So you're almost encouraging them to bid against you. Now there's a piece of software. Yes, well, I was getting back to what I was talking about. Sniping. Sniping is basically leaving it to the last split second before the auction ends, and then you bang a bid in. You know, it doesn't guarantee you're going to win it, but what it does do, people, what it does do is somebody can put a bid in and think, oh, I'm winning it, and they can look at it with 5 minutes to go and think, oh, I've won it, and just leave it. So this basically sniping is you leave it to the very last second. Now you can do it manually. I mean, there's two ways to do it. You can do it manually, or else you can get a piece of software. Now I bought a bit of software years and years ago. It only cost me about, I think it was a donation or something. It only cost me something like £5, and I've used it twice this week, and the two auctions that I've used it, I've won. And again, it'll only bid up to the maximum that what you want. So, and then obviously what it'll do, it'll wait till, I think you can set it, there's a thing in settings, you can tell it how close to the end of the auction for it to put a bid in. I think it kind of defaults to like, is it 20 seconds? So with 20 seconds to go, it'll fire a bid in. And the idea being, you're not really giving anyone else much a chance to get a counter bid in. So that's how it works. And the question is sniping right or wrong? I mean, I was Googling it the other day there when I was looking for this piece of software. And, you know, some people are saying, no, it's morally wrong. But I don't see that. At the end of the day, an auction is an auction. You're trying to buy something. And if you use a piece of software to buy it on your behalf, then that's absolutely fine. It does, unfortunately, seem to be the way that eBay works now. You know, putting a bid in with 4 days to go, it's just a waste of time, I think. So I'll always, unless it's buy it now, I'll always use this piece of software. What are your thoughts? Have you guys used any sniping software at all? Do you think it's wrong? Do you think it's right? Is it unfair? I mean, it's not a competition. It's you're buying something. And, you know, I think a lot of people do use it. So, I'm just curious as to what you think. Do you think sniping software is wrong? I don't think it is. I'm not breaking any law. I'm not stealing anything. I'm still paying for whatever it is I win. And like I says, I did do a bid last week, lost it. I've used this software twice in the space of this week, and both auctions I've won. So you can take from that what you will. So yeah, sniping software, is it good or bad? Excuse me. Talking of eBay, I mean, we all know what goes on. eBay prices. Oh, you know what? I'm going to show you the thing that I bought. One of the things that I bought and it arrived this week is this thing. It's called, I don't know what it's actually called. It's a Capcom plug and play thing. Has it got a name? Plug and play TV games, it's called. There you go. You can't get any more generic. It's made by Jack's Pacific. What this has got, in fact, it was Mr. Benway, Steve Benway, that he did a look at. He did a kind of review of this thing last week, and I thought it looked really good and got myself one. I'm not going to let you see it to any detail. I'm going to do my own video. So yeah, got this thing. Really, really nice. It's got 3 games in it. But anyway, I got this for, how much was it? Including postage, I think it was about £14, I think I paid for this. Yeah, there's another one that I bought, which I've not got yet. And I got, again, I used the sniping software, and I got it for, I think it was £13.50 plus £3 postage. It was about 16. It was just under £16 actually for the thing. But I noticed there's somebody selling one used condition for £157. Seriously, where do some people get these prices from? £157, and I paid £15 for mine. I think some people just think, well, they hope and they think that if they put a stupidly high price, a vastly, vastly overinflated price, then there's going to be somebody who's naive enough to think, my goodness, because it's such a high price, they'll think to themselves, this must be worth that kind of money. And they want to buy something good for their collection, so they'll pay that kind of money. It upsets me that somebody would pay, you know, £157 for something which I got for £15. I mean, I was very, very tempted to send the guy a message and just say, look, why are you taking the piss? Why are you ripping people off? And that is the bottom line. Yeah, you could argue and say, well, the guy can ask whatever he wants, and he's quite right. He can do that, but again, it doesn't make it right. It's the same with people selling these mini SNESes. To sell something that way, way more than it's worth is just wrong. Absolutely wrong. Which leads on to another thing that I saw, and it's a pet hate of mine's. You're all familiar with Raspberry Pis, and you can put a thing called RetroPie on it. RetroPie is a wonderful piece of software. It's a front end with emulators built in. Doesn't have any of the games written off, and it's available for Windows. It's available for Android, I think it is. It's available for lots of things. The most common platform that it runs on is the Raspberry Pi. These little all-in-one PC things that you can buy for about 25 quid. Have I got two of them? No, I've only got one of them actually, and it's in my little mini kind of MAME cab thing. Now the Raspberry Pi itself costs, I think you can get an all-in-one kit for about 30 quid. That includes the Pi, the SD card, the power adapter, basically everything that you need to get it running. RetroPie itself doesn't cost anything. It's completely free. Now what you do need to get, I should say, is get a hold of the games. But just Google it. You know, if you want a complete SNES collection, just Google it. You'll find it. Believe you me, you'll find them there. So what I'm trying to say is, with a little bit of effort on your part, you can probably get a Raspberry Pi running RetroPie for about, get it all up and running for, I don't know, say 40 quid. Get yourself a little USB joystick, little cordless joystick, whatever. Get one for a tenner on eBay. So you can probably get one, you know, all in about 45, 50 quid, something like that. But I mean, there's people selling these things on eBay. In fact, it was on Facebook actually. You know, I got an advert. I can't remember what they call it. Is it joystick or something? Joysticks with an X, something like that. And this person, company, whatever, are selling a Raspberry Pi, and I think you're getting 2 joysticks with it, and they're selling it for £120. And I went down the comments, and there are just literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people telling other people to buy this. And it really, really annoys me that there's people who are profiteering from, I mean, the guys that write Raspberry, what do you call it, that write the guys that write RetroPie, they do it for nothing. They don't charge for the software. The ROMs don't belong to the guys that are selling this. So these guys are basically cobbling together all the bits and pieces. Excuse me a second. Yeah, so it really, really, really does annoy me when I see people, you know, making huge profits on stuff that they simply haven't created themselves. You know, that's damaging the goodwill of this hobby of ours, you know, the emulation thing. That there are people putting together software, wonderful software, for free, and then there are people who are making a business out of it. I just think it's morally wrong. I mean, they'll argue that, you know, that they're you're paying them for the time to collect the ROMs together and all that kind of stuff. And I understand that, but not £120 worth of hassle. You know, stick a tenner on, something like that, but then they wouldn't do it for that kind of money. So it really annoys me when I see free software getting sold at ridiculous prices. It's just pure greed, and it upsets me when I see so many people. The thing is, there are so many people that wouldn't have the first idea how to go about and actually build it themselves. They wouldn't realise how simple it is. Now I know you can argue, yeah, you need to be kind of technically minded to do it, and that's true. But maybe because I've got the ability to do it. It's like, I suppose, to kind of counter the argument, I don't know anything about cars, and so I would pay whatever it takes for somebody to fix my car. Now, it might be the simplest thing ever, and somebody who does know about cars will be saying, "Wait a minute, you've just been ripped off, you've paid all that money, and it's an easy job." It's only easy unless you know it. So maybe the fact that I know how to do it, it annoys me when I see people charging silly money. So there's that argument, but at the end of the day, the fact that they're selling stuff which is free, it'd be nice to see these guys giving the retro arch a chunky money, saying, "Thanks guys, you're doing a cracking job, by the way." But yeah, anyway, right, we're probably doing about 25 minutes. We've got 22 and a half minutes to go. Excuse me. Raspberry Pis, yep. eBay prices, I've already touched on that. The only other thing I want to talk about before starting the questions is one thing that I get, and I don't, it doesn't annoy me, but it does a wee teeny bit, is when you get people, I get occasionally criticised for not doing research on videos. I'll make a comment about something, and then somebody will say, "You're talking utter bollocks. You should really do your research." I mean, I made a video recently about the PS Vita emulation, and I said in that video that it's still quite the emulation scene on the Vita is in its infancy, and a guy wasn't keen. He said, "You're talking bollocks, basically. It's not." He said you should do your research. Now the thing that I don't mind people picking me up if I say something wrong. I mean, I get lots of people who give me all the technical jargon about, why that doesn't look right, or why does, a video that I made, it's all jerky, it does it because of whatever. I'm all for people giving you information, but I think it's quite funny that people watch your videos and they get annoyed because you're giving them wrong information. The thing is, I don't work for the BBC. I don't get paid to do it. I don't work for Sky. I am not a paid person. I'm doing it as a hobby, fundamentally, for myself. And if somebody wants to watch my videos and enjoy them, then happy days. But I think it's quite funny when people get upset when you've maybe got an opinion about something. I'm perfectly entitled to have my opinion. And if I give you the wrong information, just don't watch my videos again, because I don't get paid to do this. I do it for fun. I don't monetize on my videos. I don't have a Patreon thing. I just do it for fun, and most people seem to enjoy them. But I just think it's quite amusing when people do get upset when I give out wrong information, and I do that very frequently. But as I will say to people, don't look at me for technical information. I'm just an old Scottish guy talking shite. I love video games and I love talking about them, and I'll just talk for whatever comes to mind, and a lot of the time I'll say things that are quite categorically wrong. I mean, I frequently watch my own videos and I'll say something, I'll think, that's a lot of bollocks, but you know what, like I said, if you don't like my videos, then don't watch the channel. Like I said, I don't mind people correcting me, but I just think it's quite amusing actually when people get upset when you give out wrong information. I'm not a public service. I'm just little old me making videos. So yeah, anyway, enough of that one. Right, let's start with Mr. Batman. I'll just read his question when I'm drinking my tea. Right, okay, what's he saying? Mr. Batman, thanks for tackling my subjects, mate. Here's another. What are your thoughts on the impact of the second wave of consoles to hit the UK back in the late 1980s? Namely the Sega Master System, NES, and to a lesser extent Atari 7800. Some people are of the opinion that they were too close in specs to existing 8-bit computers at the time. Others credit them with kickstarting the console boom we enjoy to this day. Or conversely, do you feel that those machines has relatively little impact, and in fact it was the Mega Drive and SNES that really fired up our love for all things console? Your thoughts, sir? You know what, you've actually given my answer, but I had a Commodore 64. I got my C64 1983, the tail end of 1983, I think it was, and I had it until 1987. I think it was. I had it for about 4 years, and none of my friends had the consoles. You know, my mate had a Spectrum, my other mate had an Electron, and then he got rid of that and got an Auric. But I used to go to a computer club, and it was all computers. Consoles wasn't really a thing that I was aware of. I knew they existed. The only reason I knew they existed was I used to get computer and video games, and I would see the adverts for it. And I used to look at it, and I'd think to myself, that doesn't look any better than my Commodore 64. Don't get me wrong, you'd get the occasional game like, I don't know, like Outrun or something. It looked like Outrun on the Master System. I thought that looks really, really smart. But it was a lot of money. I wasn't prepared to sell my Commodore 64 to buy this console to be able to play one or two games. I mean, games, the thing for me is, and probably for most people, the games in these machines, I don't know what they were, 30 quid. Whereas I could go and get a game for, you know, a tenner or $1.99 if you're talking about budget games. So it wasn't really a thing. I don't think in the UK, I don't think that generation of consoles had much of an impact on this industry. I might be talking nonsense. I don't think it did. I think most people had a computer, and if you did buy one of these consoles, the chances are you'd probably be very, very jealous when you saw your mate coming home with a C98 with all these games in it, you know, and you had to wait for birthdays and Christmases to get a game. So I don't think they had much of an impact. They maybe helped kickstart the console thing worldwide. I mean, in Japan, I dare say the Master System and NES were quite big. I think the NES was more popular actually. So they probably did play their part in keeping companies like Sega and Nintendo interested in making them. But yeah, it wasn't, for me personally, it wasn't until the Mega Drive and the SNES came along that my eyes opened and I'm thinking, bloody hell, that looks amazing. You know, you're looking at some of these games, John Madden football, and I mean, I had an Amiga, which to my mind was almost just as good, if not better. There were some games I always thought, you know, I like the look of. I mean, then you've got stuff like Pilot Wings, Super Mario Land, what other stuff? Yeah, games like that. Super Mario Kart. Super Mario Kart was probably the game of that generation where I'm thinking, I need to get a console. But yeah, I personally don't think that the NES and the Master System, and certainly not the Atari 7800, which wasn't a particularly popular machine, I don't think they had any impact in the UK. Certainly not a patch on the impact they had elsewhere. But I think when the Mega Drive and the basically the 16-bit consoles came along, I think that's when it opened people's eyes as to just what was capable, what these machines were actually capable of. So yeah. Anyway, Bat, thanks for your question, buddy. Down the rabbit hole, Kev. For the Friday Waffle, hi Alan, do you have any friends with a huge assortment of games just sitting around collecting dust that bothers you? Do you mean my friend actually bothers me, or the fact that he's got all these games collecting dust bothers me? Yeah, I do have a few friends like that, Kev, but you know what? The worst person I know that's got tons of games that haven't been played is myself. So I could never, ever, ever criticise anybody. Excuse me a wee second. I could never criticise anybody 14 minutes for having a big bundle of games unplayed, because I'm the worst. I'm the worst ever. If I didn't have many games, it might annoy me, thinking that's not fair. I can't afford to buy a game, and this guy's got all these games. But I'm the world's worst for it, Kev, I'm afraid, mate. So I've got to say, I do have a few friends. Like most people, I've got consoles. We buy games, you get them cheap, and you never play them. But I'm the world's worst, mate. So I've got to go for myself, actually. I saw a friend of mine has a pile of PS4 games like No Man's Sky he bought and has never played it, and it gets right under my skin. I totally get why it would annoy you. You know, and I probably annoy you, Kev, because honestly, I've got so many. I've got, you know, I bought the latest Wipeout for the PlayStation 4 and I've played it I think twice. So yeah, it's a silly thing, but I don't think I'm the only perpetrator when it comes to that. I think most people are like that, especially when you get games second hand as well. So yeah. Secondly, anything in the latest Nintendo Direct interest you? I see their arcade classics are coming to Switch, which is kind of unusual. Did you know the company does not specifically have the licensing rights to the original Donkey Kong arcade game? I'm curious how they fixed that finally. Was it? You know they do not. You know what, Kev? Now that you mention that, something niggles me that I knew that. I don't know why, or I might just be thinking of something completely different. And just when you mention it, I'm thinking I'm putting two and two together and getting five. Something is bugging me that I knew that, and you're saying that how they fixed that. The company doesn't know. Hi, maybe I read, was it in Retro Gamer magazine, something like that. I don't know. Nintendo Direct. Sorry, Kev, I'm not even. That doesn't mean anything to me at all. Nintendo Direct. What is that? Is this a new kind of publishing arm that they've released? Oh, I've got another dog wanting in. In you come, son. Oh, no, it's not. How you go? Aye, sorry, Kev, I'm not even aware of what that is. Nintendo Direct. I'm assuming it's a publishing arm of Nintendo to re-release old games. I mean, Nintendo have done that for years, and that's why they don't like anybody using their video games, because they constantly rehash the same games over and over and over again, which we all know they do. How we do know? We've got 11 minutes and 40 seconds. So yeah, I'm not really overly familiar with what that is, Kev. So anyway, listen, Kev, that's hopefully I've answered your question. Yeah, as usual, Kev, thanks for taking time to answer that, mate, or to ask me questions, buddy. Next one, Mark the Morose. Question for a future waffle. Micros in the 1980s saw many arcade conversions and rip-offs. That's quite a good phrase. Some good, many bad. Turning that on its head, what original games on the 8-bit micros do you think were arcade quality? I.e., people would have to put 10 pence in to play in an arcade. As an example, could Uridium, Thrust and Super Pipeline on the Commodore 64 have made the grade as an intentional rhyme? Aye, you know what, you're actually picked. I mean, Uridium, I would say, for an early 80s, 1980s arcade game, could have probably stood up. Super Pipeline, definitely. I mean, Super Pipeline is a wonderful, wonderful game. They would have to obviously make it more difficult. Other games, I mean, Jetpack could definitely be an arcade game. Obviously, again, you'd have to ramp the difficulty up. What else? I mean, you could say Drop Zone. It's got the quality. Stuff like Manic Miner, I don't think you'd really get. I'm trying to think, is there many? I can't actually think of many arcade games that are like platform games. Yeah, you get games in arcades where you've got to shoot things and kill things, but do you get arcade games where you just got to try and complete a level by jumping over things? I can't think of any game like a Manic Miner that would be in the arcade. Again, something like Manic Miner or Miner 2049, you could probably get away with that. But International Karate, I was going to say Exploding Fist, which is my favourite version, but as far as being arcade quality, I would have to say International Karate. So yeah, there's definitely a few of them. Try to think of anything else in the spectrum. I mean, the C64 with its hardware scrolling was always the best machine for arcade conversions, I would say. Or that's a complete incorrect statement. We've all seen Chase HQ in the Spectrum, you know, in the Commodore 64. But yeah, I think Uridium, you're saying that's Super Pipeline, Drop Zone, International Karate. There are others. I was going to say Whizball, but I think Whizball is slightly too complicated to make an arcade game. An arcade game, you've got to instantly know what you need to do. You know, you can't afford to have to learn what you need to do. It's got to be very, very simple. So yeah, anyway, great question, Martin. Thanks for that, buddy. And lastly, Mr. Panther UK. for next week, you've had questions about your favourite item in your collection, and I'm not sure if you've answered this before, but what is your oldest item? I don't mean date of manufacture, I mean the item that you have personally owned the longest. Yeah, let me think. That's a good question. That's an interesting one, actually. Now, like a lot of people, unfortunately, as I've mentioned before, I couldn't afford to buy multiple systems. So when I had my Commodore 64 and I wanted an Atari ST, I had to sell the Commodore. When I wanted to get an Amiga, I had to sell the ST. When I wanted to get a PC, I had to sell the Amiga. So it's always been an upgrade. So most of my hardware that I've got here it's not the original. I mean, my PlayStation is not the original. I'm just looking about my station. No, I mean all the probably just looking. You see, probably my oldest console, believe it or not, would be my Xbox, the original Xbox. I mean, the PlayStation I sold, Dreamcast I sold, never had a Saturn, never had a 3DO. The Xbox 360, I've had quite a few of them. No, it would have to be my modded Xbox, which isn't that old. But everything else, I think, all my handhelds, even my Game Boys and all that kind of stuff, they were all bought fairly recently. When I say recently, in the last maybe 5, 6, 7 years. So yeah, it would have to be my Xbox. So yeah, there you go. So anyway, listen Chris, thanks for your question, mate. Let me just quickly double check how we're doing for time. Oh, we've still got 6 minutes. I was going to say something. Yeah, I mentioned it earlier on. Retro Gamer magazine. If you've been watching the internet the last couple of weeks, you might have noticed that Retro Gamer have they brought out their latest edition. They brought out a sort of a new issue of Superplay, which was the wonderful magazine for the SNES. So they've brought out a new issue. It's a one-off, and you can't get the magazine for love nor money. So you're getting the Retro Gamer magazine, and you're also getting this copy of Superplay. I actually tried to get a hold of another one, again, not to make money on. What I was going to do is I was going to buy another one, and I was just going to put it up in the loft, keep it sealed, because then thinking in 10 years down the line it might be worth something. But I can't get a hold of it, so I've still got the one that I got. I mean, I subscribed to Retro Gamer, so I did get that. I've not read it yet, but yeah, already I've seen people selling it for 20 quid on eBay, which is just mental. But I suppose it's like anything, guys. It comes down to supply and demand. If enough people want something and the supply is very, very low, then people are going to pay more for it. So yeah. So anyway, listen, I'm going to wrap it up. One little interesting thing about the Friday Waffle, I think it's probably the video that I'm kind of best known for. Anytime I hear anyone talking about my channel, it's generally the Friday Waffle, they mention it. So I would probably say that the Friday Waffle is my most popular video. But when it comes to views, it's actually my least popular. It gets the least number of views out of anything. I mean, some of the videos that I put out, one of the features that seems to be going down quite well, and it's great fun to do, is what the bloody hell is this? Where I've got all my games put into this Excel spreadsheet, and it basically randomly picks a game from the 60-odd thousand games that I've got. So that goes down really well. But yeah, most of my videos where I'm playing games, it seems to go down a lot better than my Friday Waffle, which is interesting. But I think because if you're randomly going through YouTube and you see somebody that looks like me with a video called the Friday Waffle, it doesn't mean anything. It could be anything. I could be talking about fishing. I could be talking about, I don't know, anything at all. It doesn't mean anything. So I think the people that watch my Friday Waffle are people that follow the channel. You know what it is. You know I come out on a Friday with this. You know I talk shite for 45 minutes, it's not going to ever get any new people in. I think the only way I'm going to get new people in to watch it would be if they see another one of my videos and they enjoy it, and then they think, what's this Friday Waffle thing, and they might realise what it is. But I think that's probably the reason it doesn't get many views, is because if you don't know my channel, if you don't know me, you're probably wondering what the hell it is. Like I said, it doesn't mean anything at all, you know. But one little interesting thing, the live stream thing that I did, obviously it records it. I've had 2 thumb downers. Apparently I had one when I was actually recording it, because I remember one of the guys in the comments didn't mention. It's just, I think it's quite funny, the old thumbs down thing. You know my thoughts on it. I don't get why you would give a thumbs down to something unless if somebody was, I don't know, being cruel to animals, or there was violence or something that was really wrong and not nice, then you might give it a thumbs down. But I don't get it at all. But I just think it's quite funny that there's people that watch your videos and they think, that's crap, let's give it a thumbs down. But what they don't realise is, with them doing that, they're actually helping to boost your video, you know, so it's quite funny. But anyway, listen, I'm going to wrap it up now. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a nice weekend, and as usual, I'll catch you again.